Engine 11, Mandan Central. Be advised, receiving multiple reports. Third floor, northeast corner, entire apartment is engulfed.
To go through that 2 times, to lose everything, just to, start to feel like it's home again, and then it start all over again.
Well, Mandan fire crews battled an apartment fire for nearly 8 hours last night at the Eagle Ridge complex on 31st Street Northwest. And this is the scene today. Well, Fire Chief Steve Nardello says the fire that destroyed the complex overnight started on a 3rd floor balcony. It then extended into the attic area where crews battled the blaze until 3 in the morning. Some who have now watched 2 complexes burn down say they're getting out as soon as they can.
We're going to start packing our stuff and we're going to get out as soon as possible because I'm not taking any chances. You don't think that this is going to happen, especially twice in like summer after summer.
Well, a scene that's now all too familiar. A devastating fire destroyed the Sunset Bluffs complex last July. Investigators say there are many similarities between the 2 fires. Julie Martin explains.
All that remains of the July 2019 fire is the foundation. The Mandan Police Department pushed for changes in privately owned fire hydrants and sprinkler systems on patios. Chief Steve Nardello says those changes paid off when history repeated itself Monday night. In 2019, firefighters ran into issues with the privately owned hydrants. The low water pressure made it difficult to put out the blaze. In recent months, the Mandan Fire Department says they have done routine checks on every hydrant to make sure they're in working condition. In both situations, the fire originated on a 3rd floor balcony and quickly spread to the attic. Compared to 2019, when a dozen firefighters were treated for heat exhaustion, no crew members were injured on Monday. Mandan City Commissioners also updated a building code. Any patio that has an overhang larger than 6 inches must have a sprinkler head. As of Tuesday night, residents are not allowed back into the complex until the investigation is complete. In Mandan, I'm Julie Martin, reporting for your News Leader.
Last night's fire displaced 27 families, some just moving in, others on their way out, and still others were ready to start a new adventure. Jacob Noterman has their stories.
Austin, Jocelyn, and their young daughter had just moved into their new apartment on the 3rd floor. But after smoke rolled into their unit and police told them to leave, they watched their home burn. The Corcorans are a family of 3 that finally felt like they could take a deep breath. That is until Monday night, when police banged on their door, telling them to leave.
We went to Walmart and we came out and we seen the flames shooting out of our daughter's bedroom, and I think that was like the moment when we realized that like everything was gone and that we barely made it out.
But in their darkest moments, there's a ray of sunshine, bringing smiles to the entire Blackstone Hotel. But in the coming months, the Corcorans will be adding another bringer of smiles. Just one day before the fire, Austin and Jocelyn learned their family was growing. The Corcorans spent the night at a parent's house, but tonight, like many other displaced families, they'll be sleeping at the Blackstone Hotel.
Fire relief organizers responded to the same call for help after last year's devastating fire in Mandan and are set up once again to help the families impacted by this fire. Daniel Burbank visited the relief headquarters at the Blackstone Hotel.
Volunteers at the Sunset Apartment fire relief effort never thought they'd have to reactivate their Facebook page. Behind me is a 40-foot donation trailer. This is only temporary until they can find a warehouse to store larger items, but they say the operation is running a lot more efficiently than last year.
What we learned last year is more of what the needs were, so we're able to anticipate a little bit better.
Organizers met across the street from the Blackstone Hotel at the Baymont Inn. They discussed resources, needs, and provided counseling for anyone affected by the fire. For the latest updates, search Sunset Apartment Fire Official on Facebook. In Mandan, Daniel Burbank reporting for your News Leader.
And now there's been some severe weather in the area. Let's check in with meteorologist Henry Blakes.
Hey, thanks, Anna. That's right. We've had strong wind gusts reported in Hettinger as well as Bowman. I'll have more details on that later on in the news. But let's get to that line of thunderstorms impacting western and now central North Dakota. Severe thunderstorm warning until 9:15 for Adams and Hettinger County. Hettinger, you had that 68 mile-per-hour wind gust as the storms pushed through. But for now, you are safe. But Lemon, surrounding areas, even Mott, getting in on some thunderstorm activity. Farther to the north, I'm concerned about this line just to the east of Elgin, all the way up north to Glen Ullin. Non-severe at this time, but likely producing some gusty winds. Severe thunderstorm warning also continues for Dunn, Mercer, Morton, and Stark County until 10:15. So in less than 15 minutes, we'll get an update on that, and storms continue into White Shield. Right quick, just want to show you our live Bismarck Skywatch camera. We've got some lightning off to the west of town, so we'll be monitoring this, Anna, throughout the night as it approaches the capital city.
Sounds good. Thanks, Henry. Well, state health officials say 5 more North Dakotans have died with COVID-19. 2 of them are from Stark County. They're in their 60s and their 80s. 2 are from Burleigh County in their 50s and 70s, and 1 in their 70s from McKenzie County. All of them had underlying health conditions. The state also reported 174 new coronavirus cases, a positivity rate of 3%. 55 people remain hospitalized, while 234 more people were listed as fully recovered. Now, the CDC has chosen North Dakota as one of 4 states to be part of its pilot project to plan for how to distribute a COVID-19 vaccine to the general public and to tribal communities. The CDC wants to see how medication is shipped, stored, inventoried, and transported. The health department is to develop a system for getting medication to people as effectively and efficiently as possible, which includes fine-tuning plans it already had in the works. Immunization Program Manager Molly Howell says they were chosen for the strength of their program. She says our teams have been working for weeks on a plan, and we're thrilled to supplement that work with this partnership to prepare a vaccination response. Governor Burgum and the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation announced today a huge step toward increasing the transparency of North Dakota's criminal justice system. Well, the department released a website where anyone from policymakers to the general public can see what the department is doing and how it's helping with rehabilitation efforts in the form of data, insights, and opportunities for further analysis. It's designed to increase transparency, accountability, and trust. It was created in partnership with Recidivists, a nonprofit founded by tech veterans from Google, Apple, and Dropbox. The North Dakota Department of Veterans Affairs budget and staff got cut by 39% in 2017, but more than 50,000 veterans live in North Dakota. Now, despite the pandemic affecting the state's budget, the department is asking for that money back.
We feel we've had enough cuts. We're pretty lean, and so we're going to be requesting back those funds.
The department wants to reinfuse a total of more than $63,000 into its budget, and it plans on increasing funding in many areas that have been lacking since the cuts, especially for transport vans, additional staff, and access to grants. Well, Joe Biden has selected California Senator Kamala Harris as his running mate. His decision comes months after he committed to picking a woman to join him on the ticket. 55-year-old Harris, a former presidential candidate herself, is the first black woman to join major party ticket and to serve as a VP candidate for a major political party. Well, Bismarck pulled in twice as much sales tax in May 2020 over 2019. This was the report city commissioners received during their meeting tonight. It was an increase of more than $1 million of revenue, though April was $500,000 short in 2019, with June expected to be lower as well.
It's kind of hard to say with May if it's a fluke or it's ongoing. But, we had a huge spike, and that's good news. That means people are buying, sales are happening.
The May gas tax brought in almost half as much as it did in 2019. Well, Bismarck also received a clean audit report for 2019. It gave no audit adjustments, findings, or comments. Commissioners commended the Finance Department for their work.
Getting a clean opinion like that consistently, because we always have. All the years I've been sitting at this table, we always have, but we shouldn't take that for granted.
The city had nearly $160 million in revenue and about $130 million in expenses. Commissioners also looked at a plan to convert more streets from 2 lanes to 3, like Interstate Avenue and 26th Street. The commission asked staff to contact the people along those streets about their parking plans.
I would like to go with this plan that we currently have, but I'd also like to see what the requirements of those 2 religious institutions are as well. Reach out to them and find out what their needs are, whether it be a weekend configuration or whatever. So
They hope to take that project to bid next month. Coming up, the airline industry is seeing a slight rebound as more people get comfortable flying.
And I know we had some pretty strong wind and rain near Grassy Butte, but check out this double rainbow lightning combo in town. Thank you so much, Rachel, for your photo. We'll have your weather right after the break.
The aviation and tourism industries have suffered tremendously amid the pandemic shutdowns. But airline stocks surged after this weekend when the U.S. airports saw the highest amount of traffic since March 17th. Experts say this is big news for the economy, and Emmeline Ivy tells us why.
From nearly empty to getting back to normal, the Bismarck Airport saw about a 50% dip in traffic in March, but now administration says numbers are climbing.
Looking at it from when the pandemic started, July is by far our best month with about 11,273 revenue passengers and planes.
The numbers reflect the national spike, which was followed by a surge in the market.
You saw a bump in the stocks because optimism. People are excited to see that we're starting to travel again. It's really exciting for not only the airline industry, but I think the U.S. economy as a whole.
Wald says the news brings renewed hope for the U.S. and global economy, which rely heavily on the industry.
It generates a lot of jobs, but also contributes about $880 billion a year to the world GDP. That's about 2.4% of the global GDP, which is big. The U.S. at $330 billion.
While numbers are up, Bismarck Airport administration does expect a summer travel drop-off. However, they're not concerned.
We're expecting the traditional slowdown. It's all going to be relative. We've been working with our airline partners, and we have been seeing some additional flights being put in later in the year, late fall. That's some positive news.
While numbers reflect a renewed interest in travel, we're far from normal. Traffic is still down nationally by 70% of what it was this time last year. In Bismarck, I'm Emmeline Ivy for your News Leader.
And Walt says it's important that the government continues to support the airline industry because of how important it is to the GDP and how costly it would be to rebuild again. Well, Henry, those lines of storms looked really ominous.
Yes, they did. Hettinger, I'm going to add you to the list, but you did have a 68-mile-per-hour wind gust at the airport when those storms pushed through. But check out Grassy Butte, 89-mile-per-hour wind gusts due to thunderstorms, 77 wind gusts at the Bowman Airport. New Reddick, 65-mile-per-hour wind gusts, even reports of heavy rain and quarter-size hail. Here's that line that Anna mentioned. It extends from McLean County down all the way into northern Perkins County in South Dakota. Notice one of the warnings has been allowed to expire. In fact, both warnings have just been allowed to expire. So that is good news, but we still can't rule out the chance for small hail and maybe some brief gust of wind with these thunderstorms. So Adams and Hettinger County no longer under a severe thunderstorm warning. However, viewers joining us from Perkins County, this includes Lemon in South Dakota, severe thunderstorm warning just reissued and updated for you until 9:30 Mountain Time as the line of storms over Lemon continues to push south and eastward. So eventually we will have to monitor this for residents in Corson County into South Dakota. One thing I am concerned about, this line along North Dakota Highway 49, Elgin, getting on the activity, that extends all the way up into Glen Olin. For now, the heavy rain seems to be the primary threat with this line of storms. No warning in effect, but pushing it farther to the north, Beulah, right on time, right over you. The line is moving through. No warnings for you, but eventually this will make its way towards Stanton, into Center, and even the Bismarck-Mandan area as the line holds together. Showers extend northward into Beulah, like I said, but eventually into White Shield, Pick City, Garrison, starting getting some rain, but I'm not expecting severe weather for you. But along and south of Highway 200 is where this line is going to impact, but the worst weather for now will remain in South Dakota, but still looking closer to the midnight hour for Bismarck and Mandan to get in on that activity. But notice by midnight, extending along Highway 83 from McLean County all the way down into South Dakota. After that, We're dry at least until tomorrow late afternoon. This cold front could bring some strong to severe storms for eastern Montana and far western North Dakota, including Williston and Dickinson during the early evening hours, late evening for the Highway 83 corridor. Highs today were mostly in the 80s and 90s. It's going to get even hotter than that for tomorrow and more humid. Quickly looking at Wednesday's severe weather potential, eastern Montana all the way into the Highway 83 corridor. So it's going to be another busy afternoon and evening, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Weekend looks great, Anna.
Thanks, Henry. Well, coming up, one girl shows us you can make a difference at any age. Although it's been months since the beginning of the pandemic, homeless shelters in Minot are still adapting to the current health guidelines. The Minot Men's Winter Refuge Executive Director says they've had to make changes to prepare for the upcoming winter season.
We're going to operate at less than our full capacity this winter just for distancing purposes. And the men that are like the overflow, we will use hotel rooms for those guys.
Clients will be required to wear a mask at all times and have their own set of housewares. Zimmer says they will be ready for the season and would never turn away anyone in need. Well, as news of the deadly coronavirus and racial tensions steal the headlines, more people are searching for good news that offer hope. And what could be more hopeful than a 6-year-old Good Samaritan doing her part to change the world? Michaela McGee introduces her.
My name is Paris, and this is how I spell it. P-A-I-I-S.
She is very outgoing. She is creative. She has a big heart. She's always willing to help people. We thought of the homeless, the sick, and the poor, what the use of the violence and fighting was for.
Paris Williams will just be entering the 1st grade this fall, but this little girl is full of big dreams.
She was reading books at school about giving, and she came home one day and she was like, you know, I want to give back to the homeless. Like, what can we do to help the homeless? So we kind of brainstormed some ideas and we came up making care packages.
It's called One Little Boy's Magic. I kind of wanted to give some food to the homeless like the boy in the book.
Paris has been working some magic of her own. She and her family have delivered over 500 care packages filled with food, drinks, and other essential items to those in need through non-contact drop-off.
Well, I would help put in all the food and help draw all the pictures and stuff onto the bags.
It makes me really proud because, you know, everything that's going on in the world, and to think this a small child, which she's entering in 1st grade, has such a big heart. She wants to give, she wants to help others.
She has even started a fundraiser selling t-shirts and masks to help raise money for her very own nonprofit organization. It's called Paris Cares Foundation.
She's the driving force behind everything, and we are just trying to support her the best we can.
I want to inspire people to do good things.
Up next in sports, the Bull Moose try to string a winning streak together. We'll have the highlights between the Larks and the Bull Moose next.
Bismarck native Paxton Miller had a great outing from the mound on Monday. Miller struck out 11 flicker tails in just 6 innings of work. That performance helped the Bull Moose to their 7th win of the season. The Bull Moose are facing the Larks tonight. The Larks are the team to reach home first. Jackson Rosencrantz hits a ground ball to 3rd. He will be out at 1st, but not before bringing Wyatt Ulrich home for the 1-0 lead. Bottom of the 1st, and the Bull Moose even the score. Quentin Evers with a base hit into left field. That scores Kalen Schwabe, and we are tied at 1. Same inning, and the Bull Moose pull ahead. Dane Nakatusaka with a hit to the outfield. Jarrett Bickle scores with ease the 2nd run, making his way home, and he is gunned down by the outfielder out at home plate, keeps it a 1-run game. This game was back and forth. It's the Larks' turn to play catch up in the 2nd. Tyler Trappahagen with a hit into the end of the infield brings home Ramon Vega Jr. and ties the game at 2. The Larks defeat the Bull Moose. And now to the Expedition League. The Badlands Big Sticks are tied in extra innings. To the MLB, Twins and the Brewers playing tonight. Top of the 1st, Twins Jorge Polanco goes to deep right, and that is a solo shot off Josh Limbaum. Polanco's 2nd homer of the year. Still in the first, Eddie Rosario had a grand slam last night, and he goes yard again. Just enough power to clear the right field fence. The Twins are out to a 2-0 lead. A lot of runs in the early innings. The Brewers answer with a solo homer of their own. This solo shot is from Garcia to lead off the inning. And Rosario now is back at the plate, and he does it again. 2 at-bats, 2 home runs. This a 2-run shot to right. Rosario's 3rd homer of the series. The Brewers score 2 runs in the 8th to defeat the Twins. That's all for sports. We'll be right back.
Late afternoon and evening thunderstorms possible Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Nice weather over the weekend with 70s and 80s for our high. So we will be monitoring those severe weather threats over the next few days. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night, and we'll see you in the morning during Country Morning today.